Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Morning, Paul. Happy Friday. It is Friday. Morning, Harold. Morning, Virginia. Morning, afternoon. It's 4 p.m. here. Iluid. Morning, afternoon, whichever, whatever you are. Morning, Jury. Morning, Gregors. Morning, Lucas. From Winter Wonderland. I know. It's snowing in the UK. Who'd have thought it? I don't get it down here. I live on the coast. We don't get snow. I live south of the South Downs, basically, and basically as soon as all weather gets to the South Downs, it just stops. And everything this side, we don't get it. So I don't get it at all. Very, very rare to get snow where I live. We got too much salt in the air. Just doesn't work. Morning, Nils, FTNet, Lucas. In Switzerland, well, you'll probably have snow most of the time, don't you? Always good. Right. Let's have a look at what's going on today. Welcome to the private streams. Silver Spoon Lifestyle, good name, has just joined the private streams. Welcome aboard. Have fun consuming all of that content. There's loads of it. Which reminds me, I haven't looked at the... I'm just going to quickly, for the members that are in here, quickly look at the strategies that we've got in forward testing at the moment. We've been doing in the member streams, just to see how they are this morning. Still ticking over at the moment, that one. Haven't managed to get any profit out of that yet. It's been very frustrating, that one. This is a pullback strategy we've been working on, which has just got into a sell this morning. That's good. Can't see that because it's off the screen, but anyway. Let's just have a quick look at how the lazy trader strategy is doing. All right, we're taking a bit more heat on that. So again, all profit. Nothing but profit. Every day it's banking, which is lovely. But we've got one problem with this pound US dollar, which is getting stuck. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades on. So this is the limit now, basically. So if we do not get a pullback from this level, this will start to close positions out, which will bring the average down into this area here. So double top will exit. So it will take one loss, basically, which will be in the region of if it pushes down about $300. So that will basically take out that profit. So yeah, still going. I'll check on that later today because I've got the new version running at the moment. Right, so news-wise, we'll cover the news first of all, as usual. If we go back to yesterday, so yesterday's news, basically, we had the unemployment claims out, which were pretty much as forecast. We were on 219, we were forecasting 220, we got 213. So less unemployment claims, slightly better for the US, didn't have a massive impact. The Bank of Japan and RBA were speaking yesterday. Again, nothing particularly exciting. Morning, CK. So yeah, nothing particularly exciting going on really there. Today, we've had retail sales for the pound. No ADR hits on the pound, so it doesn't look like the pound's had a massive reaction to that this morning. Not a lot at all. So that's the news. Just push down and back up again. Nah, no real reaction to it. So we've had that out this morning, and today is PMI day. So the whole day today is focused around PMIs. I'm not trading the indices this morning. Usually the indices tend to sit around at the open, basically waiting for the PMI numbers to come out. So we've got the French coming out in 7 minutes. And then 15 minutes later, we have the German. These two combined make up the European. So the Euro basically will know the result of that by 8:30 when the German comes out. So that is potential market moving for the Euro today. We've then got the pound at 9:30. So again, FTSE tends to quite often be a little bit rotational and not move too much while we're waiting for those PMI numbers to come out. We've got SNB talking a bit later on, and then we've got CAD retail sales, and then we've got the US PMIs later as well. So PMI day today, Purchasing Managers Index feeds into this Consumer Price Index, which feeds into interest rates. So these are kind of the lower end, if you like, of the interest rate pyramid. PMIs, CPI, and then interest rates. So these are very important numbers because they tend to give us some kind of guidance as to what is likely to be happening with inflation moving forward. So bigger, much bigger than anticipated numbers tend to rally, and much smaller tend to dump. However, with the euro, we've dropped interest rates quite substantially. So I don't think the euro will collapse too hard if we do get negative numbers today. The pound, however, and the US dollar potentially could do, because these guys have got much more room to wiggle with their interest rate numbers because they're still very, very high. The euro have dropped their interest rates substantially. So we're back down to 3.4 for those, but the pound is up at 4.75 and the US is still up at 4.75. So they've got a lot further to drop yet. So we'll see what happens with those. Those are coming out in a few minutes. Overnight news, not an awful lot happened overnight, apart from obviously what's going on with Russia. So here we go. So this is sort of late yesterday. So we had yesterday, just going back a bit further actually, because it was all day yesterday, wasn't it? So we had yesterday morning rumors, morning travel, morning Reverend, that Russia used an ICBM, and basically an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, is basically the main delivery system for nuclear weapons. Yeah, so ICBMs, you can load anything into them. You could load chemical weapons, you could load normal incendiary into it, you could load nuclear weapons. So the ICBM is the main delivery vehicle for nuclear weapons. So when he was saying, or Ukraine said, that an ICBM had been shot, basically that is Russia saying, remember we got these big things, yeah? We haven't put one on it this time, but remember we got them, yeah? So obviously the markets had a negative reaction to that yesterday and the day before. We've had lots and lots of very sharp drops in the stock market, but they seem to be recovering very quickly. We've had some injections into the yen, into the Swiss, because the market is getting scared, but it seems to be recovering. So we're getting these big spiky movements at the moment every time we get this news coming through, because obviously it's a massive thing if Russia does start escalating this conflict. Then we had them coming out in the afternoon saying, we're directly now involved. So the UK yesterday allowed Ukraine to fire Storm Shadow missiles. So now the US and the UK are both allowing their bombs to be dropped in Russia. So indirectly now Russia is saying, you guys are involved in the war. So what this exactly means is difficult, because obviously what Putin seems to be doing is saying, don't forget we got these big missiles with 11,000 kilometer ranges, guys. We can still hit you even though you live on islands and other continents, right? So then we got this intermediate ballistic missile, not an ICBM. So basically Russia saying, no, you got it wrong. We didn't fire one of those. We fired something new. The scary thing about this is what they fired is what China has, which is the hypersonic missiles. These are absolutely impossible to stop. So Russia has basically now flexed its muscles and said, we've got these big bombs we can drop, yeah, and you can't stop them. So it's all basically bubbling very, 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 very close to the surface at the moment over there. Yeah, Putin, we have the right to use weapons against military objects of those who use weapons against us. So he's come out last night and said, UK, you might be a little island, and US, you might be on another continent, but we will hit your military bases. So it's going to take one shot from one of them on another continent, and that's it. We're off. World War III. Markets are going to collapse. Swiss and yen are going to explode. So it's a massively difficult time at the moment from a financial perspective, because things will go nuts like that. And the first thing you'll know about it is the stock indexes have dropped 200%. And you're like, what happened? Too late. You've missed it. So it's just saber rattling at the moment, as Virginia's just said. There's a lot of like, holy crap, but nothing's happened. So we got to be on your toes. The less exposure you have on, the less chance you've got of getting hurt. And it's always the same in these sorts of instances. But equally, you have got to have risk on, otherwise you can't make money. So it's going to be a very tricky run up to Christmas. It could all kick off over the weekend. You know, there's so many. There you go. Kim vows to continue developing defensive capabilities. Yes, I mean, Korea's flexing their muscles all the time now. They've got all that help going into Ukraine from Russia. So that's the main escalation overnight. From a financial perspective, there's not a lot else. We've had the retail sales this morning, obviously, which have bounced. The German GDP forecast has dropped. So struggling a little bit in Germany, but nothing particularly dramatic. So it's a case of keeping an eye on what's going on in the news at the moment. But anything you see, again, you know, this sort of movement, this is basically market panicking about what's going on, and then it's all recovering. So at the moment we're getting the quick, everybody get out the stock market, don't worry, he's not really going to do it. Everybody get out the stock market, don't worry, he's not going to do it. Yeah, if he does, he won't recover, obviously. But at the minute it's just a case of you got to sit and watch. So at the moment I haven't made any money this week because nothing has actually gone anywhere. Everything that I've got into is just literally sitting around. You can kind of see for the whole week we've been flip-flopping in the financial markets. The only thing that has moved has been the US dollar. We've started the recovery against this US dollar move, which is great, but you know, even that hasn't been dramatic. The main mover of the week has been the Canadian dollar. We've had some really big strength coming in on the CAD. So yeah, loads of Canadian strength coming through this week. But apart from that, very little else has moved. So for those of you that mentioned as well in the Discord channel, how the hell have you made 50% this month? I haven't. This 25 grand is a fallout from the last month's US dollar CAD move. What I've done is I've withdrawn money from the account. So I've taken half the money out of the account, so the profit's doubled. Yeah, I haven't cooked the books or anything. I've just made a withdrawal. So my balance is now down to 50k. So that's why that looks like that. Okay, just to explain, because somebody pointed out in Discord, I watched the stream yesterday. How the hell have you made 50%? I haven't. Different size account. So all I've done is I've adjusted my balance, yeah, for what the account is now, and obviously the profit doesn't change. So the 25 grand now looks like a big number. It's not. I wish it was 50% in a month. I've never done 50% in a month ever, not in real trading, obviously. But so yeah, that's what that is. So obviously all these figures reflect actually my exposure, my proper exposure. And anything that I've banked this week, obviously, is proper banking. But it's just not been able to get anything off the table this week. Pound CAD has just hit the monthly. So, again, more strength coming in on that Canadian dollar again today. Look, huge move on this CAD. So, 3 positions on that. Looking for a pullback up into propulsion at some point. But we'll go through all this in a minute. I haven't got the index open. So, I've got the DAX open. So DAX this morning, that's the open. So it broke long this morning. Not far, and we're coming back. So potentially it might be a long break on the DAX, but I'm not trading it today. A little bit too risky. So first numbers are out. The PMIs are negative. So potentially that's bullish DAX. So 43 on a 44 forecast, so that's come down substantially. 45 on a 49, so these CPI numbers are going to come out lower than expected. So there is a possibility of another rate drop, but Lagarde has said she's not going to do it in December. They may change their mind on that. So let's have a quick look at what the Euro's up to. We should see a rally on the Euro. Whipsaw at the moment. Sorry, a rally. We should see a drop in the euro. They're negative numbers, not positive. Wake up. But we'll see. They're already low, so I don't think we'll collapse out of bed, but they are very, very small numbers. We'll wait and see what the German ones are in 15 minutes. But if they all come out negative as well, you'll probably see a little bit of a drop in that euro today. But we'll see. Right, ADRs. So ADRs today, we've only got one, which is the Aussie New Zealand. So this thing absolutely off the charts. This is the New Zealand dollar. So you can see the Euro New Zealand also big move up, huge gap down there on the euro. Look, so all the New Zealand pairs, yeah, very, very, very weak overnight. I'm not quite sure why that was. Just weakness in the New Zealand dollar for some reason. No real reason, just selling off basically. So weak New Zealand dollar. So we had an ADR hit on the Aussie New Zealand. The Aussie New Zealand obviously moves an awful lot more than the rest basically. So at the moment, why did I not get a second entry on that today? Didn't trigger it, did it? Okay, I'm just going to take a short manually on that. I've got this running on the hourly time frame at the moment, and moves. The trouble with running strategies on the hourly time frame, because it takes a moving average entry. Even if you were taking a market reversal, I mean, your market reversal entry wouldn't be until all the way down there. But the trouble with running on the hourly time frame is, everything's got a positive and a negative. But the trouble with hourly is, when you get these signals after very, very strong moves like this, the signal is after a lot of that move is already undone itself. There's nothing else you can do. There was a bearish engulfing there. So best case scenario, you'd have got in there. So I'm not far away from where the best case would have been. But the moving average cross has actually happened on this candle here. And obviously that is below where my previous next short line would have been. So sometimes you get these big moves and you just don't get those extra entries in if they're really, really aggressive like this one. And we don't obviously, we don't see 150, 175 ADRs anywhere near as much as everything else. But yeah, sometimes you miss them. So obviously I'm going to take a manual on this one, just because that obviously is a big extension today. So looking for a pull down, don't need much more room out of that now. About an ADR to get out an average. So 3 on that. So that's your ADR today, but obviously you wouldn't have really got into it. See, that's the entry on M15 with the reversal alert. It was just such a parabolic move. There wasn't any downside in it at all. So that was the only candle really you could say there was some selling pressure. So yeah, it's just not really entryable today. 5 minute you probably would have had not much different, is it? So 5 minute entry was there. So very difficult to get into that one today. Euro New Zealand, that's just tapped ADR. And we've got a massive gap down there. Wow, they really don't like that, do they, the Euro? Wow, that's a big collapse. There doesn't seem to be much liquidity in the market today. The slippage of that size don't often see that off of a news event, but that's a big drop. These are big numbers today, big misses. So we'll see. I suspect they will come and fill that gap. There'll be unfinished business in there. So there's your reversal alert. Bit of a weird one, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so those are your only ADRs today. That one obviously is just really triggered. Just about. But you wouldn't have got into it. And the Aussie New Zealand you couldn't have got into either. But the Aussie New Zealand is up at a weekly as well. So this is the weekly range extension. So there's the start of the week. Today we've now got 175, or is it even more? Yeah, 175 of the average weekly range achieved this week, but it was all done in the last 48 hours. So big drop off in that New Zealand dollar. So those are your ADRs today. Weeklies, there's quite a few. It is obviously Friday, so anything that's lit up on the weekly, there's a chance that it will unravel this week. But a lot of it is euro, because the euro's had an absolute shocker this week. Real big drops across the board for the euro this week, which I'm quite surprised about, because the euro and the pound, basically, there's no real drops in interest rates due in December. So I suspect this is kind of the final before we get some kind of pullback on it. But obviously this one, the main reason has been the Canadian dollar, because that's the one that's been on the move. Morning, David. Morning, Roger. How are we doing? Right. So RSIs, there's quite a lot on the 4-hour lit up at the moment. Obviously, Aussie, New Zealand. So that's a 4-hour RSI extension. Again, tricky to get into this one today. Very hard, actually, because obviously the speed of this movement has meant it's virtually impossible to enter. But that is a 4-hour RSI extension. It was extended as well last week. But this week we got above the 80 level. So the 80-20 is kind of the real big extensions, which you tend to get the pullbacks from, but very difficult to get an entry on that one. The euro odd also extended. So all of the euro pairs, virtually all of them, big drops. So 4-hour RSI extension, you can see you've just had the reverse alert put in there this week on that one. So that was the extension on the end of, Friday. That's the hourly chart. Let's look at the 4-hour. So that's really extended. So we've had an hourly RSI extension. Nice big bullish move there, but pulling back on this news today. So difficult to call. I'm only looking for shorts on euros at the minute. So no entries for me on that one, but there is an entry there. Same as that there, basically. We're just expecting a pullback. If we're going to continue this bearish market structure, you can get in on that leg and then try and jump in on the short. Euro CAD, also big extension to the downside, still extended. This is kind of the perfect storm this week. We've had a weak euro and we've had a very strong CAD. So very big move down there. But again, market structure, pretty clear. Yeah. So watch a push up into propulsion here. So wait for some kind of bullish signal. You probably have had one. Yeah, actually, there hasn't been a signal really to go long. You'll have had a 15-minute. Oh, it's in a mess now because of this gap. Indicators don't like gaps. So yeah, you will have had you haven't actually had a reversal alert on this. Because that was the last bull move before that low. So everything very, very hard to get into at the moment, because all these parabolic moves we've got going on because of what's happening everywhere at the minute. Difficult to get into that one as well. Euro Swiss, nice extended on the 4. Again, another long opportunity there, but again, as I said, I'm really waiting for some signs of strength. So this one, I had an opportunity to get into this yesterday. The EA didn't take it because we didn't stay embedded below the hourly long enough. I'm trading the hourly RSI at the moment. Tempting to get into this. The problem at the moment with this, and why I'm kind of really thinking twice about it, is if we get anything kick off over the weekend to do with Russia, the Monday morning gap down on the Swiss franc is going to be huge. So if you get into anything today against the Swiss franc, bear in mind all over Saturday, Sunday, if anything kicks off, the market is going to open strong with the Swiss franc on Monday. You may be like trying to run in front of a steam train here. So I'm not going to take that manually. I was toying with the idea of just taking one on that, but I'm going to see if it does get further pushed down. I might take a long on it because it's got a long way to come back. But that's nicely extended. Euro US dollar also very extended at the moment to the downside. So 4-hour. And again, US dollar still pretty strong. It's had a little bit of weakness coming through, but still pretty strong at the moment. I think somebody posted a picture of the Dixie. So basically the Dixie is the inverse of the euro US dollar. So this is the Dixie upside down, basically. You can see how strong this month has been for the US. We've literally had 2 bull days, excluding where we started. Little one there, but that's it. That is the strength, the weakness in the US this week, there, this month, there and there. Apart from that, this US dollar is absolutely on a roll. When it's going to stop, who knows? It's very difficult to call with the US at the minute. Obviously, this is the Trump effect. This is why I got out of all my US dollar exposure prior to the election, because elections are completely unpredictable, especially when you've got someone like Trump coming in who's going to put 38% tariffs on China imports. Good luck getting anything from China, everybody in the US. So yeah, big move, but with a big move tends to come a big pullback. So, with position trading, when you're stuck in drawdown on stuff, if you're still in anything, if you're in anything like this, the idea of getting out at a break even or with a small profit is just get out because the trade was wrong. Don't hold it and go, oh, it's definitely going to pull back 61.8, 71 on that leg or whatever. Just get out until we know what's going on with Trump, the US, and what his plans are when he gets in January. The market may well just see the US dollar as continuing a rally. Yeah. Obviously, now with the missile situation, your guess is as good as mine as which way anything's going to go. But it is extended, and it is very, very strong move. So there's a good chance of a pullback on it. Even if it's just a 38 retracement, yeah, that's enough to make money on. So that's extended Euro US. We've also got the pound CAD and the US CAD. US CAD's not now, the New Zealand CAD. Pound CAD first entries were taken on that this last week. We basically pushed up a little bit into propulsion, but they added more. The Canadian this week, absolutely mad. So third entry on that one. We'll be taking fourth today if it continues down. We'll be in 5 by the time we get to that level there, in which case then we're looking for a pullback on this entire leg. So not that, it'll be that. Yeah, so we'll get some limit orders triggering down at this low. So if it does continue to drop, that's fine with me. I'll just scale into down there and then get out on a pullback. Average is not far away, so not really got an issue with it, but yeah, massively extended at the moment. If you look at the extension on the 4-hour 10 RSI and where we are, we haven't been down here this year, basically. So this is September 23, so basically just over a year. This low that we're at now, we haven't been there. So this is the strongest move we've had on the Canadian dollar against the pound specifically since then. So you see the size of the biggest pullback that we've had for a while. Yeah, we're just waiting for the profit take move to come in, but there is a chance I think we could get down to that double bottom. We'll see, but that propulsion gap, that lower propulsion gap there, is only 200 ADR away, so we could easily hit that within a couple of days. But we'll see what happens with the CAD. So from a news perspective, this afternoon we've got retail. If the Canadian dollar retail figures come out as good, and they are forecast to come out as good, we could see continuation in that Canadian dollar move. Yeah, so it's potential for a big move there. We've also got the pound PMIs today. So again, with the pound CAD, we've got 2 major news catalysts today. So if we get strong PMI numbers for the pound and we get weak Canadian retail, we'll be back up here this afternoon. So it could easily be out of that today, but it's, it's all about the news. The news drives the market. So that's pound CAD. We've got the pound US just about extended, almost down at that 20 level. So again, everything against the US dollar at the minute. It's very hard to have faith in longing anything at the moment against the US, but it will call, and it will pull back, and the pullback will be very quick because it's very extended. Elastic band theory, the more stretched it is, the faster the ping back. Yeah. So, you know, you just need a good couple of news events. So again, PMIs for the US, negative this afternoon. PMIs for the UK, positive this afternoon. You're back up here. Yeah, very, very quick. It'll rally very fast because everybody that's short here will be looking at their positions, and they will see their P&Ls unraveling in front of their eyes. As you see your P&L dropping, you tend to take the money because it's profit. As soon as you do that, you become a buyer. You create more volume in that direction. Everybody that's been looking to get in long sees a buy signal. They enter long, and it just basically pops. So we're just waiting for the catalyst, basically, which we haven't had yet. And New Zealand dollar CAD. Again, big extension down there. Got one on this at the moment. So first entry on this one was taken. When did I get in the first one? Just about to get second look. So second entry is just about to go in the next 25 minutes. First entry was there, wasn't it? Yeah. So been in this for over a week now. So I've got something in my eye. Pirate. Until I got kids. Had an exit on it. Didn't quite get to target. So that propulsion gap double top was my exit. Got 3/4 of the way there. Then we sat around for 2 days, dropped back down to entry, and then we've had 2-day drop. So second entry is going in, average down, and I'll adjust my targets. But yeah, I will be taking second entry on that. I'm actually going to hit the buy button now and take it manually, just in case that pushes up strong and the close of that candle isn't below my next entry line, because I'm using below next entry. So I just want to make sure I'm in it just in case. If it drops, it's fine. But if it was to do that, I wouldn't get a second entry, and I don't want to sit around in it. So just taking a second on that one long. There we go. So those are your RSIs. Hope I enjoyed my birthday. I did. Thank you very much, David. Went out for a nice Chinese meal. Chinese is very expensive now. A lot more expensive than I remember. Anyway. Morning, Blue Trader from Pontevedra. Sunny. We've got snow. Well, I haven't, but we have in the UK. And we've got a massive storm coming this weekend. I love walking the dog along the beach in a storm. The dog hates it, but I love it. It's brilliant. Could you please show your MT4 scaling settings? Watch the videos on YouTube, but my scaling is off. MT4 scaling settings. I don't have any scaling settings, AZ. I don't know what you mean. You mean the MT4 scale fix? I don't have that because I don't need it. Mine doesn't do scaling. If you want to know about that, watch the videos on YouTube. My scaling is off. That video here, this is the one that explains about it. Ray-Bans? I've got sunglasses. Don't need sunglasses, thank you. There you go. So this explains it. This is a different video, but maybe watch that one. I don't know. Don't know the answer to that one. So DAX, so that was the open, entry pullback, continuing up. So if we get a weak euro, we'll get a strong DAX. So if you have taken the breakout long today, it's worked out. Right, next news for Germany, 49.4. So not quite as bad for German. Manufacturing is stable. Manufacturing is a lot more stable because obviously the main export is cars from Germany. Services is down a little bit as well. So all very negative for the euro today. Those numbers will come out as negative. This is why these are orange, because French and German make up 90% of the Eurozone CPI and PMI numbers. So these will all come out as negatives. So we know the answer to that one, which is why they're orange. So the next news coming up is the PMIs for the pound. So has that affected my P&L in any way, shape or form? No. Aussie US is on its way. So I got 2 on that. So looking for US weakness today. But yeah, struggling to bank at the moment. Very, 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 this type of movement, very difficult to bank on because we're not really getting any traction anywhere. So annoying. Chinese will be more expensive for us in the US soon. Yeah. Fortunately, though, it must be the tariffs. Yes. Morning, noob. How are we doing? Yeah. This is the difficulty with this market at the minute, obviously, is Trump, the Trump effect. We had the Trump effect. If you traded through Trump's last leadership, I started position trading full time in Trump. That sounds wrong, but when Trump was in charge of the US, that's when I started position trading. And one of the reasons I started position trading is because I found it impossible to use any kind of trading with a stop loss when Trump was in charge, because every time he opened his mouth or every time he typed anything onto the internet, everything exploded. So you'd be in a beautiful technical trade and then Trump would say something and it would hit your stop loss, and then it would fly up to 600% of what your target would have been, and you kicked yourself because you were unable to trade because he would move the market constantly. We've now got him coming in January, and the market is at the moment as unpredictable as it could possibly be before he's even got in. The strength in this US dollar, I think, has taken everybody by surprise. We thought the US dollar was going to be strong with Trump if he won, but this is something else, isn't it? This US move, and he's not even in yet. So what's it going to do when he gets in? But there is talk about the trade sort of ideas that he has to put in place actually being negative for the US economy short term. So it may be that the market sees as, when he actually signs off what he's going to do with the trade negotiations with everybody else, the market may well see that as a sign of, okay, we're going to have 6 to 12 months of struggle for long-term gain. So we'll have to wait and see, but he hasn't signed anything off yet. He said what he's going to do, but what he says and what he does obviously are different. Don't forget, we've got kind of nearly 2 months until he's in. Yeah. If Russia fires one missile outside of Ukraine, everything's going to change anyway. So the market was always predicting and preempting, but there's always that cautious approach at the moment because of what's going on. We've got 2 major conflicts. Yesterday, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu. So the Israel conflict, it seems, could well now de-escalate very, very quickly because Netanyahu cannot now leave his country. Or otherwise he's just going to get arrested. So that could well change. And obviously the whole of Europe went, yay, well done, that's exactly what we want. And the US turned around and went, no, that's the wrong thing to do. So now we've got the US and the rest of the world arguing about what's going on in Israel. Yeah, this market at the moment, this world at the moment is an absolute tinderbox. So directional bias with a moving average. Good luck. I did watch that one, but these Windows updates always mess my terminal up. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one, AZ. I don't know what my Windows scaling thing is. I'm on a 4K, I'm on a 42-inch 4K monitor here. But I don't have any, I haven't had to do any settings on this. On my laptop I have, on my Microsoft Surface I had to do that. But I haven't done a Windows update on this, so I don't know. That's one for the IT department. Afternoon, Silver. Happy Friday. Ryan, Trump's announcements will mostly affect the US session. No, the Trump announcements will affect the market. It doesn't matter. If he says something at midnight in the US, it's all going to react during Asia. And when the market wakes up. So don't forget, the way that institutions work is institutions have headquarters everywhere in the world. Yeah. So the main three trading sessions are New Zealand opens the market on a Sunday evening, passing into Asia. Then we pass into London, and then we pass into New York. Yeah. So all banks and institutions have Singapore usually, or New Zealand branches, London branches, and New York. Yeah. So whenever any news event happens, they will react instantly, depending on which is awake. So if Trump says something at midnight, New Zealand will be the ones that will press the button. So you don't have, we're not waiting for the New York bell to open at 2:30 UK time or 9 o'clock in the morning in New York for the market to react. It will go when it goes. It's instant. This is why you keep your eye on this, because it's important. Everything that comes out news-wise has an impact on everything, because everything is connected. If you have something that affects the US, which means that suddenly you need to sell tons of your US dollar. Trump gets assassinated, for example. Yeah, it's probably going to be negative for the US. So you'll get a massive negative US movement, which means that Euro US will spike up. But every single FX pair, every single commodity, and every single stock index will also move, because if you are going to sell all your US dollar, you have to put it somewhere. Yeah, it's not like going to a bank and withdrawing electronic funds and turning it into paper currency. If you are going to sell a load of something, you have to convert it into something else. So for me, for example, if my account is in pound sterling and I close all my positions, I'm closing all my holdings in foreign currency and converting them into pound. The pound will rally. It won't rally, obviously, when I do a position, but that's how it works with the banks. So if you want to buy a load of Swiss franc because you're worried about what's going on in the world at the moment, you have to sell all your other currencies to convert them into Swiss francs. So every time Trump opens his mouth and says something and the market reacts on the US dollar, everything else has to move. So it's a 24/5 market, FX. And obviously stock indices now are pretty much the same, because we've got the Globex session for all the US markets. The DAX is a little bit more restrictive, as is the FTSE, because we've got 8 a.m. opens or 7 a.m. opens and 8 o'clock bell rings. So everything moves all the time. Afternoon, Armando. Morning, even. Wrong session. Love the content. Cool. But surely no liquidity in New Zealand. They have no market cap. Well, there is liquidity because every bank has got movement. Every bank has got an office there, or Singapore. The New Zealand is the market opens at midnight New Zealand. Yeah, doesn't mean there's any trading, but if you need to execute orders, that's the first time you can do it on a Sunday from a weekend. That is, I'm talking about gaps and things here, but the market is 24/5. It's always, there's liquidity always available, always. But the rollovers obviously will make gaps and stuff, but there's always liquidity there, just less of it. The over 50% of trading goes through London. That is the most liquid point of the day, and the London New York Open cross is the most liquid point of the day. But if a nuclear missile gets shot at 2 a.m. UK time, it's going to move. They're just they will execute and take whatever price they can. A fire, you've probably heard the terminology of fire sale. Fire sale basically is where you just go sell, 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 get out, get out, get out. I want that price, but that's the next price you can get. Screw it, take that price. I just need to be out. Black swan. Yeah, it'll just happen. So, and this is the thing with Trump. Trump can time everything as well. He's not stupid. Yeah, the guy's a businessman. He knows when the markets are operating, and he's got a hell of a lot of money tied up in stocks and shares and commodities and all sorts of stuff. So he's not stupid. He knows when to move it. But it's his choice, isn't it, at the end of the day? Euro Swiss monthly range just hit. So big drop. So double negative news on the euro today. So big drops across the board on euro. Big drop. So New Zealand dollar, we had all that weakness in the New Zealand dollar. Looks like the New Zealand dollar is now powering up as well at the same time. Yeah, so strength coming through in the New Zealand dollar at the minute. And obviously euro collapsing at the same time. So euro New Zealand dollar getting twice as much strength. Good example of what I've just been saying. Yeah, the euro, everybody's selling their euros at the moment. And a lot of people are buying New Zealand dollar at the moment. So the euro New Zealand is obviously going to move twice as fast as everything else because you've got double the amount of liquidity going through it at the minute. I'm still stuck on the NU longs. You need some New Zealand dollar strength? It's just coming. The what? New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I've only got one on that at the moment. Because I got out before the Trump. A little bit soon. But yeah, I mean this like I said, this move here into the US dollar, we were expecting a pullback on this, but what we've actually got is a fundamental shift. I'm not convinced we're going to get up there very easily at all. So it's just a case, if you're in anything against the US at the moment, don't go for the home run. Just try and get out as fast as you can, really, wherever you can. But yeah, it's a tricky one at the minute. Euro US dollar weekly range hit. So we've broken down through that little level that I put in here. So this area here. So we've broken that now. So your next level target, or the next extreme really, is 150 ADR. So I'll be taking a second entry if it pushes down any further today. And I'll get a third on down at that low. So my average will be around about here. So I can either get out on a pullback on that leg, or I can get out if it pulls back on that leg. But just waiting for it to do something at the minute. It's a very odd week this week, but they're all odd weeks. If that was a normal week, we'd know what to do, wouldn't we? FTNet, I'm seeing annoying commercials. Yep, they are turned on again, but I've turned it on to the lowest possible setting. So you shouldn't see too many. So if people were complaining because they hadn't seen Greg Secker or Nirav for ages. So I thought, well, I'm going to make sure that because Greg's got two nice ladies now advertising for him. Have you seen? I'm pretty sure if I go to YouTube now, onto any channel. Oh, Trading Busters ripped off the Dollar Shave Club advert. I do find this one quite amusing. The fact that he's got a broken down Ferrari Testarossa as well is bad. But Oh, I'm not going to get an advert now because we've just seen one, haven't we? But yeah, Greg Secker basically is the main person now on my advertising. So yeah, but he's got two lovely ladies advertising for him now. So basically, he's gone. No one wants to see my ugly mug with my makeup on anymore. Tell you what, let's employ a couple of models and let them sell trading because they know all about trading. Yeah. Anyway, they'll do anything to sell courses, won't they? Right, that's all I've got for you this morning. There's not really a lot else to discuss. I've gone through all the RSIs, ADRs. We've had a look at everything pretty much. Obviously, the week has been very sideways this week for most things. So, very frustrating week. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday. So as you can see, we haven't really gone anywhere much on anything this week. It's been a very sideways week. We've had a little bit of a gain on a few bits and pieces. Aussie, New Zealand, the main winner because of New Zealand weakness. But yeah, just flip-flopping around. When you're trying to grab an ADR of distance and the market's not moving an ADR, nothing much you can do. So not particularly exciting. All we've had really is that. Yeah, sort of. So the midweek reversal guys have been selling courses this week about their midweek reversal strategies because they worked this week, 1 week out of 52. Euro Swiss. Next long will be going on that one. Hopefully today. Yeah, broken out that low now, haven't we? So Euro Swiss low is all the way down at 175 ADR, 150 ADR. So watch for reaction down at that low. We've also got this area here, which is pretty much where we've just tapped, actually. So those are the two lows we've got coming up. Not quite. So be nice if we can get this euro down to ADR today so I can get a second entry on that one and then look to get out on a pullback on that leg. But yeah, very weak week this week. Not a lot going on unless you are Canadian, really. And I'm the wrong side of it. So US dollar CAD, for those of you that may still be in that, obviously, we've tapped into that high, and it is holding at the moment. So today will be the I've got a long on this now, but today will be the kind of crux point in this one because we got the PMIs and the retail coming out for CAD this afternoon. If we break down today, it confirms that this level isn't holding. And we have got like a wedge forming here. So it is bearish at the minute. Yeah, so if we get negative PMIs today for the US and any positive retail CAD, it's going to pop that out the lows. We'll probably get an ADR hit today. So that would suggest that we are going to come back down and retest this propulsion to the downside. So if you are in this US CAD today, could well be a nice opportunity for exits for you, depending on obviously where you are. But I'm long, so I'll be getting into a second long on that today, and obviously look for some kind of range bound movement on it, but we will see. A very weak week. Yes, exactly. It's a weak week today, this week. But yeah, we have had movement. It's just not a lot. All the stuff that got extended last week really hasn't moved. That's the stuff that hasn't moved. Obviously, this has US dollar CAD because of the CAD movement. But anything, you know, you see by my P&L, everything that I've got into over the last week, I'm still in with only 1 or 2 positions because it's just not gone far enough to even get a second entry on. So, you know, you can tell everything is either stayed within an ADR or within 1.5 ADR maybe, but hasn't unraveled. So just we're flip-flopping at the minute. DAX isn't doing an awful lot either. Right. So today I'm going to be working on the new EA logic that we've been discussing in the members group. And I'm going to go through what happened last night with the new version of the Lazy Trader EA. Make sure that's all operating as it should be. Next week, live rooms are as normal. So we'll be doing the normal 8 o'clock look at the week. And obviously just normal live rooms next week. Be aware, Euro numbers are about to come out. They will be all negative. So be aware, obviously, this afternoon and this morning, we've got the PMIs for the pound, which are coming out in half an hour. So be prepared for some pound movement potentially. If these are anything to go by, if we get a similar sort of thing, we'll get some decent movement on the pound today. You've got SMB at 1240, may or may not move. Retail and the PMIs for the US. So got some big news coming in today. We've obviously already had the start of that, so be careful with that euro today. It could be quite a big drop because those are big numbers, but we have just seen actually traders price 150 basis points cuts in 2025 for the first time since October. 35% chance of a 50 basis point cut on the ECB in December, from less than 20. So there you go. So they're basically, because those numbers are so weak, they're saying there is more chance that we might get a cut now in December on the euro. So obviously that means negative euro if they're going to cut the rates. So that's pretty obvious. The market would react in that way because obviously we've had much worse than expected numbers, which means they need to bring interest rates down to make sure they don't overshoot. So yeah, looks negative for euro. Just quickly watch that next number come out. It's going to be negative, but we'll see if that kicks it a little bit further. Euro CAD 150 of its weekly range. See what happens when that number hits. Got 10 seconds. Anybody got anything else I want to discuss, look at, etc., before I disappear? There we go. So further push to the downside. So that will come out. Should come out as negative. If it comes out as positive, there's something wrong. There we go. 45.2. And the services should be worse. Yeah, 49.2. So there you go. So that's the Eurozone done. All bad news this morning for the euro. So Euro CAD 200% of its monthly range. That's a big drop. Yeah, so coming down very hard. I don't check your brokers, but I've got a gap here on Robo. So gaps usually get filled, although obviously it's going to be quite hard for that to get up there. Euro odd ADR, Euro New Zealand is an ADR. So be careful with these today. Days like this, you can see 150, 200 ADR. So, there's potentially plenty of room to the downside today. Have you got things to speed up the MT4 tester beside control point test before tick test? Have you got things to speed up the MT4 testing? No. The speed of the tester is based on, the main things, the speed of the tester is based on how good the EA's code is, obviously, depending on what EA you're using, and the time frame you're using. So when you're doing any testing, what I always do is any EA I'm going to test, the first thing I do is I run a short-term test. So let's do something like, just do a quick 6-month test on this EA. I've no idea what the settings are, but do a test on control points, whatever time frame you're using. Yeah, so just do a test on control points and then wait for that to run, which shouldn't take long because it's only 6 months. There we go. So those are the results. So I then basically take a quick screenshot of those results. So got a screenshot of the results. And then I run a test on every tick. And then basically, this will obviously be a much, much slower test because it's using 1 minute or tick level. And then compare the results. Because control point testing is anything from 9 times faster than tick level. So quite often it's much faster than that as well. So control points, basically all that does is it uses the next available time frame down from the time frame that you're using, and it uses closed candles, whereas ticks uses every single tick, but quite often using 1 minute candles as well. But if you compare the results of the two tests together, and they come out virtually the same. So in this case, control points was 258 loss with 40 trades, 258 off of 40. The drawdown, the strike rate was 72.5 out of 29. Your drawdown was 1606. What this tells me is that this EA uses candle close, which means that control point testing will give the same as tick. So therefore, I know that I can use control points to test. You don't need to go anything different than control points. Control point testing is pretty much as fast as it gets. Open prices is much faster, way faster. But if you go with open prices only and run that test, yeah, and you get the same results, you can use open prices. 255, 258, 43, 40, 1606, 1678. 74.42, 72.8. So the results on open prices are different, which tells me that this particular EA is using probably open prices to enter trades, but it's using a monetary target to exit, meaning that it's monitoring every tick for an exit strategy. That's why we get different results. But they're not far off. So for me, looking at this particular EA, I would say, well, the difference between that and that, and that and that, and the number of trades is so insignificant, I'll just run everything on open prices to do my testing. And then I will confirm everything on tick level. Yeah. But if some EAs, especially some of the EAs we've been looking at working on recently in the member stream that use pending orders, with those EAs that use pending orders, you will get very different results at tick level, control point, and open prices, because open price testing will not give you the same entry point with a pending order. But apart from that, bigger PC, more CPUs. That's it. That's all you can do. But my EAs as well, I build into my EAs where possible a testing functionality that speeds them up where I can. So for example, here I've put EA works when bar closes rather than on tick. So that allows me to test on faster time frames. With the position trader EA, I have the setting for down here. Where is it? There. Data update interval. Yeah. So you can set it to update data on bar, not tick, which gives you faster backtesting. And the update interval I set at 1 minute. So if you set that at 5 minutes, basically whatever time frame you set here, it will use that, basically. So you can test 1 hour entries, but using 5 minute exits, which speeds up your testing. But whatever you set in here in your testing, set it when you live use the EA as well, because that will have an impact on live trading. But it speeds up testing and it doesn't make an awful lot of difference. So, but that's all you can do with testing. Testing is slow. Any EA that does not use open prices, which is basically, it ignores everything that happens inside of the candlestick. yeah, will always be slower. And also your time frame, yeah. If you're testing 1 minute, right? If you do a 1 minute test, right, with open prices as well, a 1 minute test on open prices takes this long. See the little green bar going along the bottom? Yeah. This is a 1 minute time frame test, yeah. I mean, I'd never use 1 minute time frame for anything, but yeah, that's how long that takes. If you want to do it on a 15-minute time frame, it's going to be 15 times faster. Done. If you want to do it on the hourly time frame, how many minutes are in an hour? It's going to be 60 times faster. Yeah, 4 hour. Done. Instant. Daily. Instant. Yeah. So time frame is going to make a massive difference to the speed of testing. Yeah. So, but also it's going to give you different outcomes, because obviously a 5-minute candle and a 15-minute candle are totally different. And then you've got the, are you checking every tick inside that candle, or are you checking only the open, high, low and close of that candle? Again, all going to have a completely different result with your testing results, your speed. Yeah. It's a minefield, back testing, which is why I do system parameter permutation testing and robustness testing around everything that I do, because I can never rely on one result. I need a multitude of results, hundreds or thousands of different permutations of the same strategy, all coming out profitable, to prove to me that this has got a chance of working in the future. Because if you do 100 back tests and you pick the best one, you're curve fitting to the data you've just tested. And the data you've just tested is never, ever going to happen again, because the market is unique every single day. We've never seen this price action here, ever, before on the DAX. The DAX has never done this in the past, ever. Yesterday's movements. You will not find this price action in history, and you will never find it in the future. So any test you do on this and say, I've come up with 100% strike rate perfect strategy on this data, it's never going to work again, because it doesn't do this again. So all back testing is only to give you an idea of what is good, what is bad to do. Exactly what to do, there's nothing that can tell you how to do that, which is why the vast majority of all your stop loss based strategies will always fail, because you're basically trying to do in the future what's happened in the past, and the past is never going to repeat. Like I said, if you haven't got a DeLorean, you're stuffed. This game is impossible. If you use a stop loss, obviously. ADRs, bloody hell, look at this thing. This euro, they are not liking the euro. 175 euro US. It's a collapse fest. Euro pound. Euro yen's about to hit. Euro Swiss 125 of weekly. Euro New Zealand 125 on the day. Weekly low, gone, dead. See that pop through the weekly? That was all the longs flipping short. Yeah. That's gone. Pound US is also off. Woo, big sell-off. Traders now see a 50% chance of a half-point cut. Wow. Euro New Zealand, Euro odd, 125. Oh my God, this is a flash sale. Look at this. $150. Pound New Zealand, Winnie. Oh, this is going to be annoying, isn't it? Euro Swiss 150. Pound New Zealand. Flat on that at the minute. I'm flat, actually. I'm flat for good on the Pound New Zealand because the swap costs are too much on it. I'm not trading Pound New Zealand at the moment because it's too expensive. So, I mean, today, whatever you do today is going to be ruined by the news or made by the news. Yeah. So you're about to get a reverse alert on the hourly. You've got a low coming up at 125 down there. So that is your weekly area of support. So good looking long opportunity out of that. However, obviously you've got in just over 15 minutes, you've got the PMI numbers coming out for the pound. If the euro numbers are anything to go by, you can kiss this goodbye. So euro pound weekly range just hit as well. Don't know. For me, there's no trade on the hourly because we're just flip-flopping around at the minute, doing nothing. So it's bearish right now. You're coming down into propulsion, which is where they bought from last time, but that didn't work. So chances are we're going to break down. So I'd be looking for longs around 150 ADR or so, probably 175 on Euro New Zealand. God, I did say, didn't I? We could be down at 175 today. Wasn't expecting it to happen that fast. Look at this. I'm only smiling because I've only got Euro Swiss on. I've got only one exposure long on the Swiss, on the Euro. So I don't care. Blimey, that's a big move. So we're just hitting the 20 level on the RSI. Last time we were there was behind my head. So the last time we got extended below the 20 on this was down here. Sorry. Yeah, so Jesus, look at this. 200 ADR. 225 monthly on Euro CAD. US dollar Swiss ADR. What is going on? US dollar's just taken off. Okay, so remember what I just said earlier, yeah? About interaction with currency. We were talking about Trump. When Trump tweets, the entire market moves. So what's happening here is that the euro is being sold dramatically. So what is everybody doing now? Selling all of their euro exposure because they are expecting the euro to reduce in value. Yeah. So if you're selling all of your euros, you have now a decision to make. And the decision is, where shall I put all this money that I'm converting from euros? I'm going to put it somewhere else. Where's the strong currency at the moment? The US dollar. So what they're doing is they're converting their euros into US dollar, which is why the US dollar is popping, because you've got to sell your euros. You've got to put your euros somewhere. So at the moment, it looks like they're putting it into the US. So that's why we're getting pops in the US dollar. They may well also be putting it into places like the Swiss franc and the yen. So there's a bit of strength coming in on Aussie yen, a little bit on the CAD yen, a little bit on the Swiss yen. So it looks like they're buying. I can't tell from the euro yen, obviously. Looks like they're buying the yen and the US dollar with the euro. That's why the US is moving. Which makes my long work nicely. So kind of like a 150 ADR hit on that today. That would suit me down to the ground. The MRA took me 12 hours for a 4-year test, but the POSIA does it in 10 minutes. Yeah, market reversal alert CA is incredibly complex, which is why I've kind of scrapped it. Not scrapped it, but just I'm not developing it anymore because it's too complex. It's got too many moving parts in it. People wanted too much stuff. And the problem with the market reversal alert CA is the indicator is quite complex as well. The calculations that go on within the indicator are actually quite complex. And because in the market reversal alert CA, you've got multi-time frame market reversal alert computation going on. So it's not only looking at this, it's looking at the higher time frame version of this and doing calculations based on both of those. There's a lot going on in it. So yeah, but you can still use control points with it. But yeah, it's a very complex EA, unfortunately. Market reversal alerts is very powerful. Yeah, it is very powerful, but very complex. So it's slow to test. If you look at the difference, this is one of the reasons I've moved over to moving average entry from market reversal alert. Market reversal alerts is based on order flow. Yeah, so the last batch of buyers was here. So when we break that level, we've got a break of the last batch of buyers. So the guys that tried to buy last have actually won. That's what the indicator is saying. Yeah. So if they are going to continue to be able to win, we will go that way. Yeah. If price crosses above a moving average, it means that the buyers have won. Yeah. It's just you get a much earlier signal, but it's less confirmation. But confirmation, the downside to confirmation is your entry's there rather than there. So that can be up to half an ADR. So market reversal alerts EA gets you in at worse levels, but with more confirmation of movement. Position trader EA gets you in faster with less confirmation of movement. But at the end of the day, every time you press the buy and the sell button, it's a 50-50 coin flip as to whether the move will continue or go against you. So there's swings and roundabouts for both. Beautiful 3-bar reversal there for you guys in the member streams that know why I keep going on about those things. But yeah, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can't speed it up. I've optimized the code twice on the market reversal alerts EA. It's as optimized as it can get without rebuilding it, and that's why I built the position trader EA, because the position trading methodology is about getting into market movement and out of market movement. The signal indicator is the reason to get in, but the signal indicator isn't what makes it profitable. It's the position trading methodology that makes it profitable. So the position trader EA, from my perspective, is as good because it allows you to also manually position trade, which for me is the big thing. You know, I can take trades when I want in the way that I want. I see that the market structure shift. I see that as market structure shift from MRA. Not quite sure what you mean by that. Yeah, so this is showing a market structure shift. Yeah, that's basically what this indicator is. Market reversal alerts. Markets. I used to call it the market structure reversal alerts indicator, but it was a bit of a mouthful. But you know, it's not a new concept. This is, you know, I haven't invented anything here. This is normal market structure as people have defined it for decades. Yeah, everybody calls it SMC, and everybody goes, it's smart money concepts, it's ICT, it's this, that, and the other. It's not. It's basically order flow, and order flow has been going around since the ticker tape in the 1930s. Yeah, they just couldn't see it this way. We can, but it's the same thing as they've been doing since the 1930s. It's just some people want to categorize it as something, but what it is basically, that's a really crappy example, but all it is a market reversal alert is saying there were a load of buyers in the market, some bears entered the market, but they didn't win. So the next time the bears actually win at the point they wanted to, it means that the buyers have given up. It's a structure break, and it's a break in, we call it a structure break, but it's actually a break or a shift in buyer sentiment and seller sentiment. So the reason my indicator works on the last down candle before the high is because this is the last batch of sell orders. Yeah, so this was their last ditch attempt at going short. When they get below that level, they've taken control of the market. So it means that everybody that is long has to flip short. And then if the people here take control and the people that were going that way also enter, the shift is to the south, which means that when you push back up, the likelihood is that everybody will reshort that level, which is what the retest is. And that's what creates market structure. So this is indicating, and this is why people moan about this indicator, it's indicating a shift in structure. It's not telling you which way price is going, it's telling you what has happened. You know it's happened because price has gone down. So it's a confirmation of what you can see on your chart. If you remove this, you know the sellers are in control anyway. This little rectangle here is showing you the next area at which, because we've made a new low, the people that were doing that take control of the market. You'll know that because price has gone up. All indicators, I've covered this many times, all indicators you see on your chart are telling you the same thing. They're telling you what the candlesticks have done. The RSI's gone up. I know. Hey, look, we've crossed above the moving average. I know. Hey, look, we're outside the Bollinger Band. I know. Yeah? Remove all indicators from your chart. You know what's going on. The buyers are in control. You don't need things to tell you this. But when you're new at trading, you do need things to tell you this because it helps you to understand market structure. If you have this indicator, you can clearly see where the structure in the market is. We know that the sellers are in control because we broke that line. Up until then, it was nothing but buyers. Now there's nothing but sellers. If the sellers are in control, which way are we expecting the market to go next? If they remain in control and it pulls back, we're expecting it to continue. That's all it's telling you. But people say, yeah, the strike rate's rubbish because it goes break, 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 and it keeps going up. Yeah, it's telling you potentially, it's telling you what's just happened. You're an idiot if you think it's going to continue. Yeah, and SMC is just all that stuff you've just written, which is a load of bollocks. It's all made by a man who's been outed as a fraud and has sold courses all his life. He's never traded real and he's never made a penny. But he came up with the CHOCH, the LQ, the whatever, the blah, 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 blah. He came up with a load of terminology and they all bought it. But it's all right, isn't it? When it works. The change in structure, there's this CHOCH thing. It took me ages. I've been doing live streams for 5 years on YouTube. People came to me years and years ago and people started using CHOCH. Oh, you've got a CHOCH indicator. I didn't even know what CHOCH was. Never heard it. I can call this an orange block. You can call it a CHOCH. You can call it an orange block. Someone else will call it an inversion line. Someone else will call it what you like. Sellers. It's an overcomplicated way of saying the sellers have just taken control of the market. Yeah, and all these people mark up their charts with this, that, the other. All they're drawing is support and resistance. Yeah, I know it as support and resistance. I got taught support and resistance 15 years ago. It's not any different. You can draw a line and put the word CHOCH on it, but it's still resistance. It's the same stuff. I don't know what a CSID is. Isn't that a part of the police force? Or is that CID, isn't it? Does that mean FVG, IFVG? It's not a fair value gap. It's a bank order. It's like, what makes this fair value? What stupid term? It's a large buy order by the banks. That's why it's there, because it's where the banks sold it. Next time it gets there, they'll probably sell it again. But only if they want to. If they don't, it will go up. CSID, a change in the state of delivery. What, you mean a change in direction? Why not just call it a change? It's gone up. Why, you know what I mean? It's just like make up terminology for the sake of making up terminology. What's wrong with the bulls and the bears? Yeah, we've had the bulls and the bears since the 1920s. Why can't we just keep the bulls and the bears? It's bullish. It's bearish. It's bullish. It's bearish. It's going down. What is it? But do you know what? If this candlestick here does that and then it does that, we're going to have a fair value gap drawn in. No, we're not. We're having a massive sell order because everybody's buying the US dollar because the euro's collapsing. Call it what it is. Sellers. Gen Z finds it cool. Yeah, I know. I don't understand Gen Z. Don't need to. Hey, do you know what Gen Z isn't doing? Making any fucking money. I am. But the people selling the courses to Gen Z, they're clearing up. Mr. Huddleston. Premium and discount zones. Yeah. Areas above and areas below. This is the thing. It's like, where's a good place to buy? Where's a good place to sell? When it goes the other direction, is this a good place to buy? Is this a discount zone? It is if it goes up when you buy it. If it doesn't, it's a bad place. And the discount zone will move. This is the thing with all strategies and all indicators, right? If you mark up your chart now and say, this is an area of this is an area of that, this is an area of this, and when it gets to there, that's the thing to do. If you do that and it does that, it's right to do all of this. If it does that and then it does that, you've just wasted your entire time learning something that gives you a shot at a 50-50 movement in price. It's pointless. When it gets to the discount zone or the whatever zone or the other zone, it will either work or it won't. Press the button. That's it. Don't learn anything complicated because it's not going to help you, because your odds are 50-50. Every time you press this or this, it's 50-50. I don't give a shit if it's called a zombie zone. Yeah? It's either going to come out of the zombie zone or it's going to go through the zombie zone. It's not going to help you, the zombie zone. All it does is it makes you press a button which gives you a 50-50 coin flip of price going in your direction or not. And if it goes in your direction, it's not necessarily going to hit your target before it hits your stop. So that didn't help you at all, did it? And everyone will go, yes, but it bounced out of it. Didn't make you money, did it? It's all a load of rubbish, the whole lot. There is currently a 3-part series on German TV about gurus and people who take the piss out of people. Am I on it? I'll have to watch that. I can't, obviously, I probably won't be able to understand it, standard German, but I only take the piss because I've been around such a long time and seen them all, and I know it's all the same thing. It's just repackaged. I'm in part 2, yeah. Die Welt were coaches. I don't know what that means. Pound yen weekly range. So there is money coming into the yen. 9:30. I've been waffling. We've just had the PMIs for the UK. Negative. Oof. Be prepared for the European session to collapse today. 48.6 on a 50. 50 on a 52. So that's a big miss as well. Another big miss. A pound coming down today. Get ready for all of these to start ADRing. Oh, meltdown today. It's going to be an absolute meltdown. But yeah, anyway, I've been on about courses many times in here. You know my view on courses. Repackage it, change the color, sell it again. Repackage it, change the color, sell it again. Repackage it, rinse, repeat, and they will never stop doing it. They will never stop doing it. And people will continue to buy it until they realize they've bought the same thing 10 times and it's still not helping. But that'd be an interesting thing. I'd be interested if they could have some English subtitles. I'd be interested in watching that. But it's becoming, I'm seeing this the gurus thing is becoming a bit of a battle zone. It's all about the marketing now. Yeah. You just get a bloke, you put, like, I wish Greg Secker would come up, because this is a prime example. I'm not interested in this. Why are you advertising this to me? I mean, I do trading, yeah? Do you know why Gen Z need this? Because that's what they do all the time. So they need to be straightened up. Oh, wow. I'm not going to get another advert now, unfortunately, I don't think. Won't be any adverts there. I don't know. I can't find the adverts now. But the Greg Secker thing is a prime example. Yeah, he's he just redoes his advertising all the time. And he's now got beautiful women selling, because it's not about the trading. It's not about the trading course. It's about selling stuff to people online. That's all these trading courses and things are about now. So they put someone that you go, I want to watch this advert, up there, and she will sell you the crappy system that doesn't work, which you have to pay £10,000 for the course for. But that's what it's all about. And all he's doing in all of his stuff, as far as I know from people that I know have worked for him, all he does is sell people things that use Fibonacci pullbacks and support and resistance bounce zones. That's it. So he is repackaged support and resistance and Fibonacci, and he's flogging it to you for 10 grand. How many videos are there on Fibonacci on here? I don't know. There's a lot. Yeah. But it's not rocket science, is it? There's obviously multiple ways to trade Fibonacci. But if you're a noob, you don't do it right, because when it goes up, you don't buy it when it comes down. How can you get Fibonacci wrong? There's only one way to trade it. When it comes down, you pick a level, you get in, and you put a stop under there. Because if it does that, it's an A-shaped recovery, and it's not actually a pullback. It's a reversal. Because it only either does that or that. It's 50-50, everybody. Yeah? But Greg Secker's made an absolute fortune. He's got that massive house, the yacht, the helicopter, the cars, telling you how to trade fibs. Come on. Wake up, the world. But I suppose if you don't know how to trade fibs, it's useful, isn't it? I think you should do a session on scam EAs on MQL5. And what are the big red flags? MQL5. There's only one. It's MQL5. If you see an EA on MQL5, it's a scam. I sell all my stuff on MQL5. It's not a scam. But anything that basically does not have this level of input, right, is not a tool. My EAs are tools. They automate entry and exit for people that trade. Anything that promises to put on a chart, but you can put on a chart that just does that. Anybody that shows an equity curve, that's probably the easiest thing. The easiest way to spot a scam on a scam EA or whatever on MQL5. If they show a P&L, it's a scam, basically, because they're showing you a back test. I can make a back test like that. Easy. We've been doing it in the member streams, haven't we? I've been in the member streams. I can create 100,000 equity curves like that. I can do one with a position trader EA. If I put an equity curve up with it and give you the exact settings on the exact instrument on an exact time frame that doubles the account in a year, you'll buy it. But it won't do that because I've curve fit the exact settings for the data that I've tested it on. That's what 90% of them are. That's it. Just don't buy any on there. Yeah? Just don't buy them. Buy stuff that you're going to use. Buy stuff that you use in a strategy that you're trading. Just don't buy EAs for the sake of buying EAs, because none of them work. There's a couple that do, but do you know what? They're all position trading strategies, and they all have high drawdown, and no one wants them because they've got high drawdown. But nobody understands that you can't trade without high drawdown. That's what trading is. It's about using your account to draw down into it to make money, because you don't know which way the market's going. So the ones that do work are the ones that have the signals running. And if the signal's been running for anything longer than 6 to 12 months, that works. But you look at them, they will have 30 to 50% drawdown on their accounts. Yeah. But would you want something that gives you 30 to 50% drawdown on your account? Probably not. But that is the real world. That's what happens. Unfortunately, there are no German subtitles. That's a shame. No live. Yeah. So the easiest way to find them is if you go to. I'm just going to pick one. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. First time. Right. So this EA costs $1,300. First of all, anything that costs that, it's a scam. Right. So he's got all these signals running in real time. Okay. So let's open these 3 signals up and have a look at those. So this one has been running for 20 weeks. This one has been running for 24 weeks. This one has been running for 15 weeks. The EA was launched in June 2024, right? So nice little equity curve, making a good amount of money. Drawdown 20%, roughly. Yeah. So it's position trading. Yeah. So if you just look at the trading history on it, it's one of two things. It's either position trading or it's martingale. So this is taking a 1, a 1, a 1. So it's taking 0.01s and it's sitting in them waiting for them to come to fruition. So yeah, fine. 158%. Oh, this is Dennis. So this one actually doesn't look too bad. 10% drawdown on a regular basis. So this is basically doing drawdown control. Yeah. So think position trader EA. We now have a max loss. So this is basically holding positions, holding positions, holding positions, max loss, holding positions, holding positions, holding positions, max loss. So this will do really well until it doesn't. When it gets in a squeeze, it'll pop. Because it will hit max drawdown, max drawdown, max. I've done this with the position trader EA. You can do this all with a position trader EA. But that's basically the only way you can really find them. What often you will find is you'll have something that has multiple signals. So something that's been released for like 2 years, but the signals are only 10 weeks old or 24 weeks old. That's because basically what they do is they keep the signal going, make it look amazing. When it blows the account, they remove the signal and start a new one. And they remove the signal, they start a new one. They remove the signal, they start a new one. So it looks good for a few months. Anything can look good for a few months if you don't use a stop loss and you don't get a squeeze. But when you get a squeeze, you'll get killed. And the EAs will blow up. But that's basically most of them. Anything that says that there's only a few copies, that's a scam. Usually. October 2024, that's only just released. No signal on it. Look at the back tests. Wow. I mean, there isn't anything on the planet that has a 90% win rate. I don't know. For me, it's, come on. Just rubbish. It's all just rubbish. But that's really how you spot them. Another way you can also spot them is if you look at the author. Right, so the author, this probably not quite as bad, but there's 9 signals, yeah? But there's not 9 signals, yeah? There's 4 signals. So what happened to the other 5? I can tell you what happened to the other 5. It was these, but they blew the accounts, so they vanished. If you see somebody when you go into their profile and they've got 20, 30 signals, but there's only 2 or 3 running for their products, it's because they just blow them. It's a little bit like Nick Shawn, yeah? Yeah, he's still short on US dollar CAD. He's still short on it. He's only 50 grand in drawdown, but he'll put more money into his account when he gets there. But when it blows, it'll be like, that's all right, I've blown it, but what I'll do is I'll start again. It's not trading, is it? This is what this is. It's not trading. It's blowing accounts. And selling stuff until, Alan's Crown. That's a new one. Oh, there's only 1 copy left, everybody. Quick. There's only 1 left at 599. Come on, scam. Live signal. Oh, dear. So it's been running for 10 weeks. Looking good. Because you curve fit it. Oops. I don't know. Call me skeptical. People disagree with my view on on what's going on there, but anyway. I mean, on MQL5 scam EAs, yeah. I lost thousands there. My wife will kill me if I buy any more. Yeah. No live signal for a long time is a scam. Yeah. There's a couple on here. If you go to the signals, there's a couple on here that there you go. So this one, for example, been going since 2022, Golden Bug. But look at, I mean, it's got negative reviews. But you always get negative reviews. 220 weeks, yeah. So this one's been going an awful long time, yeah. But look at it. I mean, this is probably very low risk, isn't it? So yeah, so this is using, I don't know if it's using martingale, might be, might not be. But again, it's position trading. It's just position trading. Only on 2 currencies, which are pretty stable. So, but it's overexposed on the US. So I'd imagine at the minute it's probably in a little bit of problem. You can't see live trades, can you? Probably in drawdown at the minute, but there's a few on there, signals. But you got to do due diligence on them and look at what they're actually doing. So, you know, he's got 34 reviews. Why no trade? Very, very bad. Not suitable for copying. Doesn't work. Money back. I don't recommend. As good or as bad as any other, really. Nothing spectacular. Cannot use the signal. Don't follow unless the same broker. Slippage. Right. So this is probably doing what we've been covering in the members streams, yeah, about that strategy that was getting in at 9 o'clock and getting out at 1 o'clock. Vitaly's strategy. That's this. Possibly. Something like that. So it's scalping super, super tiny. You'll never get the trades on. Because don't forget, this is a copy system. There's a delay. Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole here because I could be here forever talking about that crap. But like Travels just said, I've been down this road. I have bought thousands of it. No, I haven't bought thousands of EAs, but I've bought a lot of EAs over the years, and you know they all do the same thing as we've been covering. There are only 3 strategies in existence. Yeah. Every single one of those systems, every single one of those EAs, and every single one of those signals is trading one of 3 strategies. It's either a mean reversion, it's a breakout, or it's a trend. That's it. There's a million ways to get in, but it's all about the money management. And anything that's using a position trading methodology will probably generate revenue. Anything that isn't will short-term generate revenue, but not long-term. So, you know, you can launch a system and it makes really good money for 3 months, and then it absolutely destroys itself. And you see this all the time in the backtester, don't we? You see the P&Ls looking great, and then they don't. I'm just going to find the lazy trader. Where are we? It's on the hourly, doesn't it? But you know, you get strategies. If you watch this, yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? But it's got a problem. There's always a problem. But the strategy's really, 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 really good. Yeah. But we know exactly what it's doing. And the trouble with most of these EAs, you don't know what they're doing. And if you're going to put anything on your account and you don't understand what it's doing, you're really, really, really asking for trouble. Yeah, which is why everything I do is explained in detail. Every product I have goes through every input, tells you what the impact of that input is, and it gives you recommendations for the inputs. It shows you why the inputs are there. It explains the entire logic, how everything works. And people can go out and copy everything that I do very easily because I explain it in infinite detail. But that's because I want you to put it on the chart. if you don't know what it does, you shouldn't be putting it on the chart. So when you buy an EA that is the ABC EA and the inputs are lot size, risk, that's it, and you put it on there and it takes trades, why is it taking a trade? What's it doing? If you don't know what it's doing, you should not be putting it on a chart. Simple as that. It's just dangerous, isn't it? If it's your money, basically what you're doing is you're giving some guy that you don't know a load of your money, and you're trusting that he knows what he's doing. He can only be trading. He could be a 10-year-old kid that's knocked up something he learned in coding at school, and his dad does stuff on here, so he's made himself an account and put it up there. No idea. You don't know. I don't know. Euro US dollar V-shaped looking like. Let's have a look. Yeah, big rejection off of 175 ADR. I would say that's probably going to do that. That's a big sell-off. 77 basis point cuts by the end of 2025. So a little bit more negative UK. Don't know what's going to happen to that. We'll have to wait and see. Gold is on a rocket. Yeah. Because we've had a weak US dollar recently. So, but yeah. I don't trade that. Don't do it. I don't know it enough. At least when they advertise that you don't need to know or be able to do anything. I'm not talking about tools. I just mean set and forget EAs. Yeah. Minimum 100 to get a million. Yeah, there's loads of those out there. Anything that promises you to double your account, throw it away. If you can double your account in a month, why are we all not millionaires? Yeah. People have just got to think logically. Yeah. You know, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but if I said to you, give me 10 grand and I'll tell you what, by Christmas, I'll give you 20 grand back. Yeah. Would you think it's too good to be true or not? If you do, that's exactly what you just need to use, is that mentality towards everything you see on the internet. Because it is, if it's too good to be true, the first question that comes into my mind is, why is everybody not doing this? Yeah, because if there was something that could double your account every month or double your account every 3 months, everybody would be a multi-millionaire. Everybody would. Nobody is. So it has to be too good to be true. And that's just the way I've always looked at everything in my life. When someone says, oh, I've got this surefire bet on a horse. Why? Well, so-and-so told so-and-so told so-and-so, and he knows a bloke in the trainers that changes the shoes on the horses. No, mate, it's a load of bollocks. It's the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe it's because I'm a glass half empty type of guy, but that makes me cautious. And it also means I keep my capital. I don't know. What you mentioned is very powerful. Fundamental shift of the market. How can we confirm and identify this? Using the market reverse alerts indicator. There you go. A fundamental shift in the market. You can't confirm a fundamental shift in the market. So basically a news event like this is potentially a fundamental shift. Because we were not expecting the euro to drop rates very quickly. Now all these numbers are coming down. It means they might have to, because if they don't, it will mean that inflation goes into disinflation, which is bad. But we don't know if they will. So you have to wait for confirmation. Everything you do in trading is a assumption. Everything you do is an assumption. So basically what you do is you say, I think this is going to happen. The problem is, most people in trading go, I think this is going to happen. When it doesn't, what they do is they take a loss on their account. They lose money. Yeah. So if you're the type of person that thinks something's going to happen that doesn't happen more often than not, you're going to lose money all the time. The people that go, I think this is going to happen, but if that doesn't happen, it may only do that. are the people that make money. Yeah. So right now, I'm thinking that this could be a fundamental shift and that might happen. But if not, it's going to do that. I don't know, but if you plan for every instance, you will always get one of them right. That's what position trading is all about. If I go into something like the Euro Swiss with a long, because I believe that this is going to pull back into here, if it doesn't, I have a plan. And my plan is that a second entry will go on today, somewhere around here, and the plan will be for that to happen. If that doesn't happen, then I will plan for that to happen. There's always another plan. Yeah. But what you don't do is just take losses all the time, because if your plan goes wrong 10 times in a row, you've lost 10% of your account. So it could be a fundamental shift, but we don't know. It could be a complete overreaction, and they'll undo it completely and sit around for the rest of next week. But it's all bad news, and bad news typically forces the market to go down, mainly because of interest rates. So we'll have to wait and see. But you can't confirm anything. The confirmation comes after it's happened. Yeah. So if this does that, it's a fundamental shift. If this does that, it's not. But I'll tell you on Monday, because I don't know whether it is or not, because I don't know anybody in a bank that can turn around and tell me what all the banks in the world are going to do now with this. It's just the way it works. There's no confirmations on anything. I just started to code my own. What, EAs? Cool. Yeah, best thing to do, build your own. I build EAs and I sell EAs for people that can't do it. If you can do it, do it your own. You don't need me. Do it. You don't need to buy anything, do you? It's just, not everybody knows how to code. But it's not so much the coding, it's the strategy as well. Yeah, anybody can code. Anybody that's a coder can code anything. But coding something that works, that is the hard bit. Because you need to know what's going to work. That's the hard part. Dixie is just crazy, is it? It's pulling back now. So the Dixie will be doing that. What's the reason for the bullishness? I just explained that, Yusuf. Everybody's been selling the euro and putting the money into the US dollar. So that may not stand. Yeah. So what you see going on the euro at the moment, if the euro does that, the US dollar will do that. Yeah. Because everything's interlinked. There is only one market and there are currencies within that market. When one of those currencies goes down, that downward distance has to go somewhere else. Because you can't take money out of somewhere and just vanish it. It's got to go into the stock market. It's got to go into commodities, bonds, into the Swiss, the yen. It's got to go somewhere. So when something goes down hard, it's got to be pushed somewhere else. Think of it like, there's that thing where you've got a flask of water with a little tube and another flask of water. Yeah. If you've got an equal amount of water in those two and you drop if you put a pressure on this, which forces this water down, it flows through and makes that water go up. That's the foreign exchange market. Literally how it works. The euro is coming down. It's making the US dollar go up. If there's a massive drop in the US dollar this afternoon because the PMI figures come out negative, the euro will go up. It's the way it works. It's a zero-sum game. It's great fun to be able to try everything. Yeah. That's the beauty of coding. But the trouble with coding is you will spend your entire life coding. Which isn't a bad thing. All I've done all my trading career is I've learnt stuff. I've built stuff to test it. and either then I've kept it or I've thrown it away. So I've ended up with a load of products which I use. I call them products, but a load of EAs and a load of indicators that I use because they work. If you saw the amount of stuff I've thrown away, I've got what, 5 EAs? I've built about 500 EAs, but 495 of them are in the bin because they either do the same as one I've already got, or they don't work at all long term. So when you robustness test and out of sample test something, it just doesn't work. You throw it away. You just keep what works. And what works is what I use. That's it. Everything else is, I mean, I'm not saying anything else doesn't work. We found a really good strategy, Phil's lazy trader strategy. We found another really good strategy. But what is it really? If you think about it, what Phil's strategy is position trading. This is position trading. It's a variation on position trading. That isn't unusual. We've seen this in backtesting. But we're definitely going to take a loss on this today. Unless this gets up here, we're definitely going to take a loss on this today, which is going to hurt. But all this is a position trading strategy, yeah? So I mean, there's only a certain number of things you can do. You can mean revert, you can break out, you can trend. You can apply a stop-based strategy, a position trading-based strategy to it. That's all you can do. There's only 5 things you can do in trading. You can either use a stop or not use a stop. And if you don't use a stop, you need an exit strategy. That's either a timed exit or a monetary value exit. And you can either take a breakout, you can enter onto a trend, or you can mean revert a move. That's all you can do in trading. And every time you do any of that, you have a 50-50 chance of the trade either going in the direction you want or not. And that is still not the end of it. That doesn't make you money. It just means it's gone in the direction you want. What I need it to do is go to a TP. So I'm right on the US dollar at the moment. But unless it gets there, I'm not right, because it could get there and make me wrong again. In which case, then I've got to deal with the wrong and try and make the wrong right. This is what trading is. I entered here. It went up, I was right. It went down, I was wrong. It's going up now, I'm right. What's next? I don't know. I can tell you there's a 50-50 chance of it either getting there or me being wrong again. That's trading. I have nothing else I can do with this. But I have got an option to press that button and bank it and go and spend it. Pound US dollar. Loads more movement. Hourly candles have just gone in. So RSI dash lit up like a Christmas tree for the euro. So obviously we've got signals all over the place now on all euro pairs. Everything is saying buy the crap out of the euro, buy the crap out of the pound, because obviously it's all dropped. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. But I did say I was going about an hour ago, didn't I? And I'm still here. So I'll be back on Monday, because I have got to do some stuff. So 8 o'clock Monday morning, analysis of the upcoming week. We'll do the DAX and the FTSE. Be aware of the rest of the day's news, CAD retail and PMIs. Next week, we've got New Zealand interest rates. They're going to be dropping by another half. We were anticipating that anyway. Aussie CPI. FOMC next week. That's it. Bit of a light week next week. So it's all midweek. So the entire week revolves around Wednesday. FOMC, interest rates, inflation. Nothing else Monday, Tuesday. Nothing on Thursday, Friday, really. So Wednesday next week. So it's going to be a bit of a weird week next week again. Just normal market movement based on Trump and the war. All right, so have a good weekend. Anything you need, I'll be in Discord. Back on Monday, we'll obviously do the usual stuff. I'll be back to trading the indices on Monday. And then, yeah, we'll see where next week goes. Have a good one. Anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next time.